Hello guys, welcome to my channel Techmon.in. In this part we will learn how to apply the AS script for the CPU game so that the second player will automatically generates the moves. Okay, so right now I'm not gonna change the game mode, but in this mode only right now it is two player, right? So what I'll do, I'll write the AI script here. Okay. So let's start. Before that, let me explain you how it works actually. Okay. So the approach or the methodology or algorithm we are going to use is Minimax algorithm, and using this, as I mentioned, we are going to create moves or imitate CPU player. Okay. Then just little bit information about the Minimax algorithm. So it is a two. It works when there is a two-player game where each player has makes a move in turn wise. Okay, if first A is turn, then B won't be making any move, and when B it is B's move, then A won't make any move. So it is like tic-tac-toe, where at a time only a single player is making move, or you can also take an example of chess where at a time a single player makes a move. Then both player plays optimally. By this we mean that there is no bias and each player is playing to win. Okay, so there's no kind of bias, or it is not like a player is like due to some emotional constraint playing only half-heartedly. So there is no constraint like that, both player wants to win. Okay, then zero what do we mean by zero sum? So zero sum is like a condition where two player cannot like make a team and then work toward or play to win. Okay, there is no nothing like that. Either one player will win or two player will win. Definitely there could be scenarios of draw, but both the player are not joining the party. Okay, so that is what we mean by zero sum. Also one player is maximizer and the other is minimizer. By this we mean that when CPU is playing, okay, it wants to maximize its points, or it is playing to get maximum wins or maximum points. Okay, but at the same time when CPU is fighting to get the maximum score, the other player, uh, normal player, will try to make sure that CPU gets minimum points. Okay, minimum score. So that is what it means. One player is maximizer and another is minimizer. So at a particular turn one player tried to maximize its score while or chances of winning, while the another other player is trying to minimize those chances. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, some examples of such games are, or where this algorithm is applicable, are tic-tac-toe and chess. Okay, so that is all for some introduction. Then as I mentioned, each player is trying to win, right? So we also have to define numerically what win or lose looks like. Okay, so we are going to assign a heuristic based or some scoring mechanism. Okay, so what we are going to do here is, if CPU wins, because currently we are generating the AI script for the CPU who will be making a move. Okay, so see, if CPU wins, we are going to assign it +1. If the CPU loses, okay, it will be assigned -1. Okay, and if it is a draw between a CPU and a player, then it is a draw. So meaning zero score will be assigned. Okay, now let's look at the algorithm. So as you can see here, now it is our CPU play turn or not. Okay, and this is some intermediate game position where we have three crosses on the board and two knots, and now it is, as I mentioned, CPU's turn. Okay, so how this algorithm works? So as you can see here, we have 1 2 3 4 positions on the board. Okay, and now it is CPU turn. What we are going to do, once we are going to put not here. Okay, once we are going to put not here, once here and once here. Okay, and this is how we are going to uh, proceed with the game. Okay, so as you can see here, once we put not here, here, here and here. Okay, now once not has made its move, it is player's turn. Okay, now as you can see, once player let's look at this board in particular. Here there were three positions where player X could move. Okay, and we have three more nodes or three more boards game positions. Once cross is put once here, once here and once here. Okay, and as you can see here, what we are doing in the system, actually user is not seeing that these kind of moves are being made, but CPU is doing, it is placing its move everywhere one by one, and then it is hypothetically or in its memory also allowing player to make its move. Okay, so what it is doing, it is generating a scenario, trying all the possible moves where it could win or where it could make a move and which will lead to its win. Okay, so once all the moves are possible moves are calculated or come or created, it will look at the best possible move and will return and actually place it on the board. Okay, as you can see here now, since it is now CPU's turn, not can be placed here and here, right? But as you can see, the cross has won here. Okay, cross has won, there will be no more game ahead, and we will, since cross has won, we will return -1 because though cross has won, but our CPU for which we are generating the moves, it has lost, right? So since it CPU lost, we are returning -1. So let's also look at this particular board here. There are two positions for not, right? Now as you can see, not could move here or not could move here, and once not moves here, it has won. Okay, and since it won, we are returning +1. And but in this scenario, not put here, but as you can see, next move cross will make here and it will lead to its win. Okay, so actually it should be -1. Okay, so it will return so just looking into the future, we know now it will be player's turn here, player turn. Okay, and now since player will put its option here only, the only available option on the board, it will result into CPU's loss, so -1. Okay, and also if we generate a future moves for this one, as you can see here, it is not's turn. Not could put once here. If it puts here, as you can see, it will lead to draw. Okay, because in the next turn after that, cross will put here, so no diagonal, no cross, nothing. Okay, no player is winning. Similarly, if we look just project the game for this, best game for this, not will be here, then cross will be here, and as you can see here, there could be another possible move, not move here, and then not has won. So in this case, it will return to +1. Okay, and let's look at the last position. So similarly, okay, not could place here only. Okay, and once not puts itself here, cross will be put here and it will lead to -1. Okay, so as you can see here, we have +1, -1 and 0 cases getting returned from the board. Okay, so this is how it will do. Once all the scores are returned from all the possible game, we pick the best possible move. Okay, so let me quickly explain. Let me just, so this is the algorithm, but we are going to write our own, so we'll understand that. But let's look at the drawback of this. So we start with root, where we have 9 options. Then once a not player has made its turn, we will be left with 8 options. So because at each time we are consuming a position on the board. Okay, and similarly for the next, we left with one less, that is 7, and similarly we will go on 6 5 4 3 2 1 until unless we are left with 0, okay, or something like that, or some player one in between. But this is the worst case scenario where there is no draw in between and there is no player winning. So in that scenario we will go up to until unless zero positions are left on the board, okay. So for each of them, as you know, for we will generate 9 moves here. For each 9 we will generate 8 moves, and for 8 into 9 moves we are going to generate 7, so it will be multiplication of all that. If we look at it, it is a 9 factorial, okay, because that many there will be that many combinations if we start from the very top, okay. So as you can see, 9 factorial is somewhere around 400,000, okay, which is a very huge number just for a simple game like tic-tac-toe. It is a very huge number and very time consuming, okay. So we may not always it may take a lot of time to get the answer, okay. So this is just when we have only 2 moves, cross and not, okay, and only 9 positions on the board. But just imagine for chess where we have like 64, right, 8 cross 8 board, and plus we have 16 into 2 player for black and white, so 32 player kind of player, I mean different moves can be made, okay. Here there will be only 2 moves, cross and not, but here 32 moves are there, kind of, plus there are 8 into 8 positions on the board, okay. So it is, chess is much more complicated, and if we look at this number of nodes generated in this one, chess will be much higher. As you can see, for a simple game like tic-tac-toe only, there are like 400k or 4 lakh combinations, okay. So there is one algorithm which help us to reduce the search space, and definitely it gives a boost to our algorithm. So its name is alpha beta pruning. By pruning we mean that cutting off a branch of a tree, okay. So as you can see here, I'll explain it in a bit, but as you can see, this white portion has been pruned, okay. So once this white box inside this, everything is pruned. So as you know, there could be many sub nodes, sub branches going, okay. Once we have pruned this step here, we will reduce our these many some of the combinations, okay. So how we are doing that? This is our maximizing player or CPU. Then we have minimizing and maximizing, so on, okay. So as you know, this is the minimizing player, okay. Let's look at the score here, 5 and 3. So out of 5 and 3, minimum one will be picked, and which will be 3, okay. So we have 3 score from here, okay. This is a maximizing player, so either from here and here it will only pick the maximum possible value. So from this branch here, from this subtree, it will get 3, okay. Now let's look at this part here. So from this one here, as you can see, it got 2, okay. Since this is a minimum player, from this one it will get 2, and from this one, as you can see, we are not computing. Why we are not computing? So let's look at what are the possible values from this one. Either let's look at what the possible value this node here could contain. Either it could contain less than 2 values, okay, it could be 1, 0 and so on, okay, or it could have greater than 2 value, greater than equal to, you can say greater than equal to 2 value like 3 and 4, okay. So let's look at here. If it was 1, okay, if it was 1 here, since this is a minimum tree, it will definitely put 1 here. But if it was 3 here, it is, since it is a minimum tree, it will pick this value. So now at this node there could be 2 or 1, right? Because if it is a greater than 2 value like 3, 4, 5, it will always pick, like in this case it had 3, it will always pick 2, okay. So this node here, it is a maximizing player, right? So if it got an option of 2 from 3, 2 or 1, it will always go for 3. So now let's look at this. Now let's reiterate the process. This branch is clear, right? It's simple and clear. We got 3 from there. Now this root here, max root, already have a value 3. Now it follows this branch, goes here, and it got a value of this one 2 here. Okay, and now it knows this is a minimum branch. Okay, so it can either have this node here, since it is a minimum, it can either have less, after we got the result from this node, it can either have 2 or less than 2 values. Okay, less than 2. Okay, why? Because minimum, let's assume we have minimum 2, it will return 2. If it had a greater than this branch here, greater than 2, it will still return 2. If it had minimum than 2, okay, it will return that value. But since it is a maximizing player, if from here we got a value less than what it already has, why would it go to this branch which will return either 2 or less than 2, which in whatever case will be less than 3, which the max node has already achieved, right? So there is no point in looking at this or compute or look into the depth of this branch, because it under no condition can return a value greater than 2, because this is a minimum branch. So by this pruning, we will reduce our search space. Okay, so that is all for this one algorithm. Now let's look at coding this. So we already created everything, so now we are just going to write our algorithm. This will return a score, so int type. Okay, now let's name the function method minimax. Okay, it will now I will draw parallels between what we have seen here. So as you can see, it will it either has CPU or player, right? So function needs this information, so we are going to use seed, and let's say current player who is making a move right now. Okay, next, as you can see, we are updating the boards here at each turn, and we will pass it to next player to make its move, right? So definitely we need board which is a vector, so let's call it board. Also we looked at alpha beta pruning, right? So we also need to maintain what is the maximum value a particular max node has achieved or got so far, right? And similarly for a min node, like we maintain for min node 2, right? And based on alpha value and beta value, alpha at this step was 3. Okay, and based on alpha and beta value, it decided that it can let go of this subtree. So we also need alpha and beta values, right? So we are going to write int alpha int beta. Okay, these are all the values we require to pass in the function. Now let's look at the scores. Okay, so when will our game end? Either CPU won, CPU lost, or it is a draw. So let's write our conditions here. If it is a draw, okay, if it is a draw, what we are going to do, we are going to return score 0. Okay, because none of the player, neither CPU or human player won. Okay, now let's look at the other condition. One condition, if, since we know our CPU player is not, okay, we are going to write if our not player has won, what we are going to return, plus 1. Okay, and we have already covered how we wrote is draw and one functions in previous videos, so you can refer back to those videos if you already haven't watched those. Okay, similar to this we are going to check for next condition 1 for our c dot cross. Okay, if our opponent or player has won, we will return -1. Okay, so these are the base conditions on which the game will terminate. Okay, now here we will check if it is a max. As you can see here, our CPU was the first player or the maximizing player. As we discussed here, one player one player will be maximizer and one will be minimizer. Maximizer is the one for which we are generating the entire we are generating a next move. Okay, so if current player is, this indicates that our current player is not, meaning our current player is CPU, and we know CPU is the maximizer. Okay, we are going to write a certain algorithm. Otherwise, if it is not a CPU player, it will definitely be not. Okay, and also we are going to maintain int score. Okay, whatever the score we have got so far, and also one more thing, best score. What is the best score we have got so far? Okay, now when it is maximizer, as we saw here, when it was a CPU turn, we made a move on the empty positions one by one. Okay, so let me write the loop. If in for I 0 to I less than 9 I plus plus. Okay, we are looking at all the positions of the board, and if player is our original board, but we need the new board which we will pass in the function. If board is empty, meaning that currently that position on the board is empty, what we are going to do, at this board position we are going to assign a not equals to c dot not. Okay, and then what we are going to do, we are going to since we once we made our move, the current player or CPU made it move, next turn was player's turn. Okay, and then player also made its move. Okay, and what we are going to do, we are again call our mini max function. In this, our current player now will be cross. Okay, because not has made its move. Then board will be the new board which we have updated. Okay, then alpha will be, let's say for now, same, and beta will always be same. Okay, also as you know, this function is returning a value which is the score. If it is a cross, 0, CPU 1 plus 1 and -1. So we are going to store the return value here. So we have a score equal to this. Okay, also once we have made this current move, we also have to test for other moves, right? I cannot have not here as well and here as well and here as well, right? We will have not no longer we will have not here, but on another position. Okay, so what we are going to do, once we have generated the score from this position, since we know originally this position was empty, we are going to make it empty again. Okay, got it. Now as you know, we are going to do the alpha pruning as well. As we discussed, if value of alpha from these nodes, first it got 5, then it got 3, and we are storing the alphas, right, at each turn. So that is what we are going to do. If our current score is greater than alpha, so meaning that let's look at, if we are at this node, currently we have 5 in alpha. We are checking if the new value we got, which is 3, is it greater than alpha. If it was greater than alpha, we would have stored that value, otherwise we will keep the original. Okay, so we are just doing that here at this step. So we are going to make alpha equal to score. So after that, as I mentioned, what we are going to do now, we had 3 here, right? We had 3 here, right? And we check that if our alpha value is greater, then we are going to if our alpha is greater than this beta value, we are going to break in the sense we are not going to compute this any longer, so we are not going to make any more searches, right? So if alpha value is greater than beta value, we are just going to break here means we are going to break out of this loop. No more further empty spaces on the board are going to evaluate it, and once our for loop is over, we are going to just return the alpha here, because alpha contains the best score up to now. Okay, so we are done with if our current player is not. Okay, I'm going to copy this entire not going to repeat it, but just going to make few adjustment. Now our player is not but cross, because we are once a maximizing player, which is the cross, has made its turn, and we called min max from here, right, with cross. So it will go to this part here. Okay, and now cross will make its turn, and then cross will call or pass the next option to not. Okay, now we are going to make it NOUGHT. Okay, similarly here we check that if our current score is greater than alpha, we assign it, but with beta, we in alpha we are storing the maximum possible weight or score. As we look at here, this is max player alpha, we are storing maximum possible weight, while on minimum or beta we are scoring the minimum possible. Okay, so we look at say if score is less than beta, if that is the case, we are going to store that score in beta. Okay, and similarly our condition will remain this one. Okay, so as you know here, if our alpha ever is greater than beta, so that is the maximum value it can achieve, and it will just break out of the loop here. Okay, and now instead of alpha we will return beta. Okay, so that is all for this logic here for min max. And so so as you know here, we are making the turn for second player or not. Okay, okay, so our current player seed is making turn here. We will just write if instead of else. Here what was happening, if it was not condition and we click on any of the position, it will trigger this part here. Okay, now as you just let me go here, as you know from main screen, or let me show you. So when we click on player versus CPU, let's look at the game screen again in camera, and we had game mode. Where is game mode, it is empty because we uh, as you know game mode was versus CPU. Okay, and if it is not versus CPU, or game mode is not versus CPU, it is player, we are having a two-player game. Okay, so we turned it off because when we are not going from here, it was giving some errors. So currently our game mode will be two player, and each player can make a move by clicking. Okay, but we are going to allow this so this is the part where we were getting the game mode from the main screen, and we commented it out. So let me just assign it now instead of two player versus CPU, because we are going to run for CPU testing. Okay, okay, okay. It is a string. So now what we are going to do in this condition here, if our game mode is versus CPU, we are going to do something else. Otherwise, we are just going to wait for the user to click on empty cell. Okay. Now in game mode, when game mode is versus CPU, we are going to generate the next position. So it will be similar. Let me write and show you. Int best score, which will be -1 initially. Okay, and best cost, which will be again -1. Okay. So now for what we are going to do, we are going to again. So this function definitely returns here, which we write min max function. It definitely returns and returns the best possible score, and internally it calculates the all the moves. But we also need the move, not just the score which it is returning. So for that we will write a loop here, and whichever the board position, it will give the maximum score. We are going to pick that. Okay, so currently our board here is player board. Again same condition, if player current position I equal to c dot empty. If it is the case, what we are going to do on the player this position, we are going to assign our not, because it is not string. Okay, and we are going to get the best score here, which will be returned by minimax. And since not has already made its move, now it is Cross's turn. Okay, and we are going to pass this board as it is here. Next parameter was alpha. Initially, as you know, alpha tries to keep the maximum value, but initially when there is no move made, we don't have a value for alpha. So what we are going to do, we are going to assign some negative very low value like -1000, and if our first possible move generated gets a value greater than that one, we are going to replace it. Okay, so for since alpha is maximizing, we are going to put negative some very large value, and beta is a minimizing, right? So it will minimize whatever the previous value it had, it will try to minimize it, right? So we are going to put some random very large positive value. Now we have 1000, it will try to minimize it as much as possible, and for alpha it has -1000, it will try to get much whatever possible value greater than -1000. Okay, now we have the best score, and we also replaced it back with empty. Okay, now what we are going to do, if our best score, let's score, if our score here is less than, or let's write it this way, if our best score is greater than our score. Okay, whatever the current best score we have, if our new score is greater than the previous best score, what we are going to do in the best score, we are going to assign the new score return. Okay, and also since now this is the new best, we are going to assign the current position, whichever the index we are making move for right now, we are going to assign it here. Okay, so now after this loop here, we will get a best possible position for not. Okay, and we have that id, we were getting id from here. Okay, so what we are going to do, let's copy this here. We are going to put our cells here. Now what it was doing, it was assigning all spawns at the position on which a player clicked. Right now no player is clicking, but this position we are maintaining in best position is the best move our CPU will make. Okay, so instead of id we will now have best move. Also earlier we had empty cell when we were coming via a click on empty cell. Okay, where when player 2 was clicking on empty cell, but now we don't have that empty cell, but that empty cell is already in all spawns. Let me show you so to be clear. So as you can see here, if our best position is 5, it already had empty cell. Okay, now we are going to pick this empty cell from this all spawn and its position. Okay, so this will return the position of that empty cell. Okay, and at that position it will create a knot and it will assign it here, just like we were doing previously. Now just we have changed the position. Earlier it was an id, now it is best position, which our algorithm has returned, and also replace the turn. Okay, or a turn which is of not. Okay, now we have done that. I think we can just check the logic here. So let me run it here. Best score is declared but never used, so I think we never used, we were using score but we never used best score here. Okay, so let's not rerun it because it was a simple warning. So I am going to first act as a first player, place a not here. Okay, so I think we skipped a move getting generated. So let me, okay, I'm going to put a cross here. Now as you can see, on next CPU has already made its move. Okay, which is a knot. Now I'm going to put a cross here so that I can get all the crosses in a column. Okay, so as you know, the CPU predicted that if it did not put a knot here, in next turn I am going to win. Okay, so it logically put a knot here, but I also don't want not to win. So here, here, and here, and as you can see, it resulted in a draw. Okay, I'll update check this condition. It should have resulted in a draw, but definitely, as you can see here. Okay, so while implementing above one, we may have just overwritten. Okay, we have if game mode is versus CPU here. Okay, we generated the new game here. If the current turn 1, two player has won, else we are changing the turn and instruction. Okay, if that is not the case, if it is a draw, instruction should be this one. Okay, let me check again what happened. If turn is of not, Okay, let's try with winning quickly. Okay, it is working. Let's try to win, but with if the our AI or CPU player's AI is working perfectly, we may never get to win. Yeah, I told you. Now we are getting play 2 as one. I think I missed something. Let's try to make a draw. Okay, we are getting. Maybe it was because of this. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, what is happening? If our positions are -1, then we are going to just skip. If best position is greater than 0 or greater than -1, because -1 means a bad move. Meaning a bad move in the sense in -1, uh, we are like kind of losing. Okay, so let me clear this up. It is a draw. Okay, now our logic is working perfectly, but again bar has not spawned. Okay, in draw condition we won't be having a bar, my bad. So now as you can see here, our AI script is working perfectly. We have game modes. So let me now enable just one more thing. Instead of second player, I think, do we have reference of this one here? No. So what I'm going to create, let me show you what next I'm planning to do. So along with this, so what player to name. Okay, what we are going to do, if our game mode is versus CPU, if game mode is equal to versus CPU, we are going to assign it CPU. That's it. Okay. uh, and else let's also write else condition. Else we have what we are showing currently, second player, or we also write CPU player here. Okay, now I'm going to disable this one because it we wrote it manually, and going to enable these scripts here. Okay, so let's go to our main screen here. So second player, and let me check quickly. 41. Okay, I got it. What is now? Actually, we created a second player object here, but we did not assign. Let me show you. So on our main camera here, we have a new variable of second player, but it is none. So we are going to assign this. second player here, this. Okay, now it is good. Let's save it. Clear console. Oh my bad, we had to go to previous main screen. So let's get to the main screen. Now let's run it. So when we go to two player, okay, my bad. Just give me a second here. So if this is true, okay, actually what we are going to do, else if instead of here, so we have to change a bit the way we are handling these, because we are trying to control this using a single variable. We are using a single screen. We are not creating two different screens, so that's why it is giving us a little bit headache. So I'm going to create a copy of this. Let's say I'm going to paste it after this. So if this is two player, if that is the case, we are going to skip all of this. So let's leave it like that. Let's make it this one. Yes, CPU. If that is the case, we are just going to remove this or this else spawn condition from here, and rest will remain like that. We just need to move it. Okay, now it is good, but we will remove else if. But from above condition, we are going to remove the logic for. We shouldn't touch this because it was working, but that's okay. Not a big change. Okay, and here it will be two player. Okay, if it is game mode and two player, we are going to do this. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure what it is returning. It should be returning two player here. Two player. Okay, so now let's test our script. So when it is two player, cross not, cross not, cross not, let's see. Okay, it is a true. Now when we are going to select player versus CPU, next move CPU. Okay, I don't want to lose. No, no. See? Okay. So that is all for this video here. There is still some little bit cleaning required. Like now we are have to put a back button here once the game ends. Okay, we also need to show go back or end game, something like that, right? So some move like play again types. Let me show you. So currently it is showing player 1 as 1, but no play again option. We are going to put that, and for that there will be a little bit changes required, only few. So I'm going to create a like bonus video or some last part of 5 minutes or 10 minutes max. minimum possible. Okay, and we will cover in that because already it is a big video and we have covered a lot of things. Our algorithm here, min-max algorithm, how to apply it, and also how to pass information from previous screen which we were doing earlier, but we were not using that information. So now we used that information and also changed the game mode based on that. Okay, so that is all. Please let me know in the comment box if you have any questions or anything or any suggestions, and that is all for today. Thank you so much. Bye bye.